Guys, this video is sponsored by Premier Fight Picks. Bardia Helmy is a top MMA sports bettor with a 70% winning record tracked publicly over 3 years. Bardia has been on fire lately with an insane win streak spanning over 6 weeks. He killed it last weekend, having underdog bets on both Jose Aldo and Khamzat. With Oliveira versus Poirier on a stacked UFC card this weekend, it is the perfect time to sign up. Bardia is offering weekly, monthly, and yearly subscriptions right now. You will get the best picks and analysis available. So if you like betting on fights and you're looking for help picking the winners, subscribe to PremierFightPicks.com right now. There are currently 3 premium bets posted for UFC 269. You do not want to miss out. Don't forget to follow Bardia on Instagram at Premier Fight Picks. Stay tuned, there will be one free pick given out for this weekend's UFC 269. My official prediction for Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira. Guys, I'm taking Poirier. I'm taking Poirier, and I am not big and strong on this one. I am not as big and strong on this one as some of the other guys, even within the division, because I see something special out of Oliveira. Oliveira only has 1 knock, and it's not even a major knock. Most guys have 3, 4, 5. So you come up with 6 or 7 on my career. So I'm not attempting to pass judgment. Oliveira happens to have 1. Very easy to identify, very easy to talk about it, and is that he's inconsistent. There is nights where you have seen him, and it is the most beautiful display of mixed martial arts you've seen, and there's other nights where he comes up with a loss, and you're scratching your head, go, who's the guy that just beat him? Remind me of that guy's name. He's had a couple of those in his career. They have not been in a meaningful amount of time. I mean, how many times in life, what do you have to go through before you get a reset button? There's reset buttons in life. It doesn't matter what a knucklehead you were in high school. As soon as you graduate, clean slate. You keep being a knucklehead, you go into military, you come out clean slate. You come through college, you get a redo. You go get, the day you get married, anything else you've done in your life is gone. It is reset. In fact, the bad stuff will be cute and funny. There's reset buttons, but you don't ever get one in an MMA career. How come? You're doing football, you're doing basketball, it's just called a new season. Why don't we get it in MMA? Why can't he have a new year? Why can't he have a new season? Why can't we look at the last 7 fights, or is it even 8 fights, and I've lost count, that Charles Oliveira has not only won, he's looked amazing. Why can't we do that? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I didn't make the rules. I just observe and follow the rule, which is we look at the body of the career as a whole, and we've seen Charles Oliveira be inconsistent, which is something we have never seen from Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier does not have good nights and bad nights. He brings his skills every night. He's had a change in outcome. He's never had a change in performance. And I think that Dustin Poirier is gaining steam. I think his fight with Dan Hooker was almost a jumping off point. That fight had the ability to change Poirier. Some guys will go into a fight and come out of a war like that. Great job. Here's your check. You're never coming back to this spot. That was it. You just emptied the chamber. Guys will even do that in training. It's called leaving it on the road. But if you train so hard, or you run so hard specifically, you will leave your good moments and your good effort. You will leave that toughness on the road, and you won't have it to bring with you into the cage. It's so important to peak in fighting for that very reason. But that's not what happened to Poirier in the Hooker fight. Poirier came out stronger. He learned and realized what he could take. Justin Gaethje is banking to beat Dustin Poirier on the idea that Poirier does not want to return to the feeling that he had in Gaethje versus Poirier Part 1. Gaethje would be right 99.9% of the time. I'm not sure he is with Poirier. I think that Poirier is getting stronger in those fights. I think he's learning what he can deal with. I think he's learning to refocus and just push through, and good things happen. So on a consistency basis, we have Poirier. Now, I got to tell you the other side of it that a lot of people don't know is just how goddamn good Charles Oliveira is. I rewatched today Oliveira's fight with Michael Chandler, and it was a short left hook that put Chandler down. That was the beginning of the end of that contest, but boy, was it nice. I mean, this was something special, not to mention Oliveira views himself as a jiu-jitsu fighter. So he won the world championship using no jiu-jitsu, and Oliveira showed us all in his fight with Tony Ferguson, he's also good at the in-between, which is the wrestling. If you're not grappling and you're not striking, you're wrestling. Turns out Oliveira's damn good at that too. So Oliveira is going to be a real problem for Poirier, not to mention he's got the length. And I do think that Poirier should be, as he is, in the discussion for the best boxer in all of mixed martial arts. What I'm sharing for you is Oliveira is not far behind him. He's not. And I think a lot of people don't know that. Oliveira will give Poirier an opportunity at some point in this fight to beat him. He does in every fight. It's one of the hardest things you can do in this sport is to stay focused and stay in the moment the entire time. It's very, very hard to do. Oliveira does not do it. He checks out of every fight. He comes back. He only checks out for a second or two. He comes back. So within that moment, is it enough for Poirier to hurt him, for Poirier to damage him, for Poirier to get him the hell out of there? This is not an easy fight, guys. This is a mess. This is an absolute mess. Poirier's good with the wrestling, but Oliveira has a different ground attack. Remember Tony Ferguson from his back? Tony Ferguson would brag to anybody that would listen about his 10th planet jiu-jitsu black belt. But when Tony got down, Tony would cut you up. Tony would stretch you out because he had that long body. He'd pull you down with his legs till your head's right here, and he'd just start cutting you up. Then he would look for a submission. There's been time that he's locked in a submission. I'm talking Tony Ferg here. I can remember the match with Kevin Lee. He locks in a triangle submission and doesn't try to finish it. He uses that to secure Kevin Lee's head and arm, and he begins to elbow, right? Those elbows are what changed that fight. And I only bring you Tony Ferg because Oliveira's doing the same thing. I'm not sure you're seeing it. So if Poirier is just going to go tackle Oliveira, which is going to be a very hard thing to do and very unlikely to do, one time per round for 5 rounds, even if he does, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess, which means Poirier is probably going to do his best work in the stand-up. And Poirier can get in and out as good as anybody, and he can take a shot, which I now know he's confident of. He questioned himself after Conor McGregor Part 1. He questioned his ability to take a shot. He had to prove it to himself the hard way. But we're there now. I think that Poirier wants this to be a stand-up fight. I hear a lot of people saying Poirier is the best as a way of saying Oliveira isn't good enough. That statement may be true, but it's close. It's a lot closer than you think. Ultimately, Poirier is going to lose at least a round. He's going to lose exchanges. He's going to lose minutes. But he's got the heart and will. He's going to hang in there. He's going to find a way. I'm taking Dustin Poirier.